Namaste, yogis. This is a 30-minute practice for runners, yoga for runners. We're working on the IT band, the hamstrings and the quads. You'll need a strap and some blocks, some bricks. So just bringing the knees into the chest and then taking your strap, we're just going to wrap it around the sole of the right foot. So bring the leg up into the air. The left leg can be bent or it can be straight for a stronger stretch. And we're just going to do some facilitated stretching here, also known as PNF, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, whereby we contract the muscle we want to stretch first for a few seconds. So what we do, we're going to push the foot into the strap, the sole of the foot into the strap, bend the knee. So you're contracting the hamstring. And you do this for a few seconds and then release, exhale and lengthen the leg towards you. We're going to do this about 3 or 4 times. So basically when you contract the muscle, it triggers something called the Golgi tendon organ stretch receptor, and this signals to the muscle to relax and therefore creating a much deeper stretch. You're sort of working into the relaxation response. So you push the foot into the strap, so you're contracting the hamstring as you bend the leg. Few seconds and then release as you exhale, straighten the leg and draw it towards you, and you should feel a much deeper stretch. The muscle on the back of the leg should relax. So just using the weight of the arms and your shoulders, making sure the strap is in both hands, just drawing that leg towards you. If the left leg is straight, really work the left leg, so flex the left foot. Keep drawing that right hip down, so you don't want the hip to come off the floor. And taking both straps into your right hand, now we're going to work into the adductors, the inner thighs. So you can either really try and hold down that left-hand side of the body as you bring the right leg out, or you can bend that left knee and just allow the left knee to drop out to the side to counterbalance. Lengthen the tailbone down, tuck the chin in. Draw the shoulder blades down the back. If your leg is straight, place your left hand on top of that left hip to sort of encourage that side to come down as you're releasing the leg out to the side, pushing the foot into the hand. Then bringing the leg back to centre, draw the leg towards you. You'll feel an even deeper stretch in that hamstring here. There's a bit more release. Then we're going to work into the IT band. So you're going to take the strap into the left hand and then gently bring the leg over the body, keeping the leg in line with the hip, pushing the heel away, flexing the foot to deepen the stretch. And you should feel this really lovely release coming up the outside of the leg, from just below the knee, the outside of the knee, all the way up the side of the thigh, inserting into the area of the glutes piriformis. So this is a facial tissue that runs down the side of the leg. It develops when you're a baby, when you start walking. If you do a lot of running or cycling or any of those sort of sports, it becomes very tight. This is a much safer way of stretching it rather than being on a roller. And bringing the leg back to centre as you inhale, draw the leg towards you. And then release the leg down the mat. And you should feel, that leg should now feel a lot longer and more of the muscle to be on the mat. Let's do the other side. So again, we're doing some facilitated stretching. Strap around the sole of the foot so you can draw that foot down into a flex position, lengthen the right leg or have it out to the side with the right knee just dropping out to the side. So start to push the foot into the strap, bending the knee, contracting the hamstring for a few seconds as you breathe in. And then you release, breathe out, draw the leg towards you. So we're tapping into that relaxation response. The muscle becomes slack because you're contracting it. So a trigger is created here. So doing that a few times, 3 or 4 times, push, contract, and release. Push, contract, hold it, release. Lengthen the leg towards you. See if you can straighten the knee a little bit more, working into that stretch with your out breath, with the exhale. So when we exhale, we tap into our parasympathetic nervous system, the relaxation response, which allows you to move more deeply into the stretch. Try and take that left hip down so the pelvis is aligned. And now I'm working into the adductors. So I'm placing my right hand onto the right hip to really encourage that right hand side of the body down as I take my leg out to the left. Draw the shoulders down the back. Draw the tailbone down so you've got more connection with your core. Tuck the chin in and really anchor that right leg down, or you can bring it out to the side and bend the knee. Connect with your breath, so just notice how the posture changes with the breath and how your breath changes with the posture. Use your breath to facilitate the pose. Inhaling, bringing the leg back to centre, drawing the leg towards you, just working a bit more deeply into the stretch. Then taking both straps into the right hand, and we're coming into that IT band stretch now. So it's a very strong stretch. So just gently notice when you come to that point where you firstly feel that stretch, push out through the heel, making sure the foot is in line with the hip. And that left hip will come off slightly. You can relax the right leg there, so the left leg hip comes off. But you're not coming all the way over. You want to be able to feel the stretch. And the more you push the foot into the strap and flex the foot, pushing the heel away, the deeper the stretch becomes. You can feel it working down the calf as well. So just trying to breathe into this stretch. It's a very strong stretch. There's a lot of feedback comes from the body here as we work into the IT band. It gets very, very tight. Inhale, coming back to centre. Stretch the legs towards you. And then release the leg down the mat. Just place your hands on your hips. You've also gently aligned the pelvis by working into these hamstrings. And just drawing the knees into the chest. Coming into Supta Gomukhasana, so cow face pose on our back. So you're going to just wrap your right leg over your left, so the knees are stacked. You take the outside of the ankles and you just draw the feet apart, and then you draw the shins towards you and you draw the knees towards you. So you'll feel it in the top leg. Again, it's working into the IT band. Relax the shoulders. Then take the right ankle over the left knee and just reach through, clasping the hands underneath the left knee. Opening that right hip. And then we're going to roll onto our left-hand side. Bring the right foot down onto the floor, and then you're going to take hold of the right ankle with your left hand, and then really draw the foot down, but you're going to push the knee away, so you're opening up the hip there. And you'll feel it again in the outside of the hip. Trying to breathe into this stretch. Keep pushing the knee away, but really rooting the foot down into the earth, into the floor, and then release back into reclined pigeon and into Supta Gomukhasana, cow face pose. Let's change legs. So the left knee comes over the right. So you're stacking the knees and you're grabbing the outside of the ankles. You're drawing the feet apart, drawing the shins towards you and drawing the knees towards you. So you'll feel it in the IT band of the top leg, the left leg. Make sure you're breathing, try and relax the face. Use your breath to ease yourself into the pose. Keep drawing the feet towards you and then crossing that right ankle over the left knee, coming into reclined pigeon, and just clasping your hands around the knee. Working into the left hip. Make sure you're breathing all the time. Rolling over onto your right. So we're just going to root down that left foot, the right foot, the left leg is bent, and then you're going to just draw that left knee out, push the left knee out, so you're opening into the left hip. Root down the left foot. You're using your right hand to secure the foot. And then you push the knee away. You'll feel this, it's a very strong stretch in the outside of the hip. Coming back into cow face pose. It's a very strong pose, strong stretch here. We're just going to roll up now a few times. And then we're just going to cross the right leg in front of the left into Sukhasana, just to open the inner thighs and get into the hips. This is a counter pose. So come back to the centre of your mat. Slightly flex the feet. Then we're just rooting down through the sitting bones, folding over the hips, folding from the hips. Arms are activated, coming onto the fingertips, lifting the wrists, drawing the shoulders back, the shoulder blades down towards the waist, the shoulders back into their sockets. Allow the head, so the ears are in line with the arms, depending on your range of motion here. Breathe, and then just walking the hands over to the left, really reaching out with your right arm. So you can feel this really beautiful stretch moving from the right hip, the outside of the hip, coming all the way up over the pelvis, the right hand side of the waist, the right hand side intercostals, the shoulder, the armpit, the triceps, all the way down the right hand side of the body. And then just opening up, taking that left arm, that right arm all the way up, opening up the inside of the right arm by the right ear, rooting down through the sitting bones, coming all the way back down, coming back to centre. We're going to change the cross of the legs here, so the left leg is in front. Same thing on the other side. So we're working into that left hip now. It's generally the leg that's in front that you're going to feel the most intense stretch. So you're on your fingertips, your wrists are lifted, your arms are active. There's an external rotation through the arms, so the triceps tuck underneath. They move down towards the mat, the biceps move up. You're rooting down through your sitting bones, folding from the hips, and then just walking your hands over to the right hand side, really reaching out with that left arm, dropping the left shoulder so that the shoulders are aligned. Breathing here, noticing that really beautiful stretch up the left hand side of the body. To accentuate that, just reach out a little bit more with the left arm. Taking the right arm a little bit further over and then coming into a side bend, the left arm moves up, rotating your heart up to the ceiling, making sure you're aligned there, making sure both sitting bones are rooted, coming all the way back down as you breathe out, and then inhale, coming up. Just going to twist here, so inhale and then exhale, twisting to your right, pushing that left hand into the outside of the right thigh. You're on your right fingertips behind, drawing the belly in, breathing out as you twist. Collarbones are wide, shoulder blades down the back. Come back to centre, change legs, inhale, and as you exhale, twisting to the left, taking that right hand to the outside of the right thigh, left hand on the mat, shoulder blades down the back, drawing the belly in as you twist, breathing out. Widen the collarbones, tuck the chin in, lengthening the back of the neck. Keep breathing down into the pelvis. Come back to centre, rolling over the knees. Just going to come down now into Anahatasana, or extended puppy dog, or heart melting pose, a few different names for it. So just ensure that your hips are stacked over the knees, and this allows the weight of your body to come down. So we're just using gravity here to sink down, melt down into the mat, working into the shoulders, into the armpits, into the sides of the waist, into the whole of the back here. Just breathing. Tuck the left arm in, and then just put some weight into that right hand side shoulder there. So if you're right-handed, your right arm or your right shoulder, the right hand side of your body will generally be a lot tighter. So just sinking deeply into that side, noticing where your tightness is, where there's congestion, and then swapping sides, sinking into the left hand side, noticing how different this side might be. whichever side you're more dominant on, that muscle, the muscles on that side are going to be tighter because you're using those muscles much more frequently. So just noticing the imbalances in the body is part of the yoga practice, and being able to identify these imbalances and working into them. So just bringing the hips back, tucking the toes under, just working into those toes there, bringing the knees off, noticing how your toes are feeling today. We often forget about our feet. Then pushing the hips up into downward dog, separating the feet and just pedaling through the feet. Just bring the hands forward, spread the fingers, anchor the fingertips down, hands are shoulder width apart, feet are hip width apart, and just pedaling through the feet, pushing the thighs back, sucking the belly in, drawing the lower ribs in, lengthening through the spine. Tailbone moves up, looking through the legs. Try not to sink into the shoulders if you're very flexible, otherwise the lower back starts to round. So we're just going to do another stretch into that left hip. So bend the right leg onto the toes, turn the left foot out, and then just take that left hip up. Then the other side, take the right foot out to the side, bend the left leg on the toes and take that right hip up. And you'll feel the stretch coming all the way down the IT band, and release. Coming into plank. And then exhale, downward dog. Lift up the right leg, keeping the hips level. Exhaling. Just scooping through, placing that foot between the hands. Knee over the ankle. And then we're just going to inhale, come up into crescent moon. So in this crescent moon, I'm sinking quite a lot to work into that left hip flexor. Normally I lift up, but here we're going to sink, just working into the left side, stretching it out. And then we're going to come into Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. So just bring the hips back, straighten the right leg, flexing the right foot. So you can use your blocks here. So depending on your range of motion and your range of movement here, you can use 2 books if you like, same size. So just coming into wherever you want to be in this posture. So the knee can be bent. You're trying to bring your heart towards the foot, so flexing the right foot as much as you can. It's quite a strong pose. You're folding from the hips and we're lengthening through the spine here rather than rounding into it. This creates a deeper stretch into the hamstring. Then we're turning to the side just to work a little bit more into the IT band. Again, you can have both blocks here, both bricks to help you. Coming back to centre. Coming all the way back into crescent moon, bending that front knee, sinking down into the hips. And then bringing both hands into the inside of the right foot, coming into lizard pose. So this is a very strong hip flexor stretch. You can come down onto the forearms. Relaxing the back leg. Keep drawing the right knee in towards the body. You can also tuck the back toe under and bring the knee up. This makes it a stronger, a more strengthening posture. If you like, you can clasp the hands together. So there's lots of variations. Just come to where you want to be. We're going to intensify now this stretch and work into the left quad. So come up onto your hands and then bending the left leg. Coming, careful not to be on the kneecap, be on the bottom of the thigh there. And then just taking your right arm and grabbing the outside, the top of the foot. Again, we're going to do some facilitated stretching here. So you push the foot into the hand, contracting the thigh muscle for a couple of seconds. And then as you exhale, breathe out and draw the foot, the heel towards the sitting bones. This is going to really intensify that quad stretch. So you push the foot into the hand, a couple of seconds, contracting the quad, and then exhale, release. No more than 3 or 4 times. It's a very strong stretch. Coming back, let's come back into plank. Pushing back into downward dog. Inhale, lifting up the left leg. Bring the left leg all the way through. Place it between your hands, coming into crescent moon. Make sure the knee is stacked over the ankle. Get the alignment right. Inhale, sinking down into that right hip flexor. You can untuck the foot if you like. Sometimes I have my foot tucked under to protect the knee. Coming down, pushing back into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. Again, taking your blocks here. Flex that left foot. It's quite a strong stretch. The knee can be slightly bent. Your heart is moving towards the foot. So your back is lengthened. Take the shoulder blades down the back. You can untuck the foot if you like. Keep drawing the hips back. Make sure the pelvis is aligned so the left hip comes back, the right hip forward. If you need to align, walking the hands over to the left, working into the left IT band here. Breathing into these stretches, to these static poses. Then inhaling, coming back into crescent, knee over ankle, just sinking down here. Exhale, bring the hands inside of that left foot, working into the left groin area, coming down onto the forearms if you like, bringing the back knee up, tucking the back foot under. Different variations, keep hugging that left knee in towards the shoulders. Just breathe into this posture. You can pause it and stay here for as long as you like. It's a really, really lovely yin style posture. So you're just opening up the body here, coming onto the hands. We're going to come into the quad stretch. So bending the right knee, then reaching behind with your left hand and grabbing the top of the foot. Try not to be on the kneecap. It's very sensitive. So I'm pushing the foot into the hand, contracting the quad for a couple of seconds, then exhaling and drawing the foot towards me. And you'll feel this beautiful stretch in the front of the quads. The quad will release. So it's when you contract, you're triggering this relaxation response in order for you to work more deeply into the stretch. So I'm doing this about 3 to 4 times. And then release. Coming back, up, taking that leg back into plank, pushing back into downward dog here. Very strong stretches. Inhale, lift up the right leg and just slack the hips here, bending the right foot. Inhale, coming into pigeon, working into that right hip. So again, pigeon's a strong pose, so having a block near or a cushion to put under that right hip is really going to help to align the pelvis. Bringing the foot right in towards the groin just to protect the knee. If you want, you can bend the back leg. So depending on, again, on your range of motion, the closer you bring the foot to the mat, to the front of the mat, the more difficult it's going to be. So we're going to just thread that left arm underneath, working into the left shoulder and opening up the right arm. Breathing there in the twist and then coming into pigeon. Relaxing down, trying just to release into that right hip. We store a lot of emotion in our hips, so try to release and breathe into that area. Coming all the way up, tucking the left foot under, and then just coming into another IT stretch. So just bringing the right foot underneath you, and then allowing your weight to work into the IT band on that right leg. Coming back out. Let's come into the left hand side, just stacking the hips, allowing the foot to just drop behind you, bringing that left leg into pigeon so the left foot is tucked in, placing a pillow or a brick underneath the left hip if you need to, sliding that right arm underneath and reaching up with the left. Onto this revolve pigeon and then coming down, sinking down, using your breath to release into the pose. Again, you can stop the video here and stay here for as long as you like. It's a yin posture, you can stay in here for 10 minutes. Otherwise, we're just going to stay in here for a few breaths, just to reset the breath here. And coming up. And just coming up onto the hands and just sliding that left leg through. The foot's in line with the hip and we're sinking down to work into that IT band again. It's a very strong posture. Keep the leg lifted and exhaling, taking it back. Breathing. Just exhaling, coming onto the knees. And we're going to come into Gomukhasana, cow face pose now. So this is the same pose that we did on our backs earlier, but this is a much stronger pose because we're using the weight of our body. So it's handy to have a cushion or a block if you need to. You're going to stack your right knee over the left, and then the feet come out to the side. So it's called cow face pose because your knees, if you look from the front, the knees are like the cow's face, and then the feet are like its ears. So if you can imagine that. So coming down, trying to keep the sitting bones on the mat, coming forward into this posture. It's a very, very strong posture. Great for the hips. You should feel it in the top leg primarily. Also, it's quite nice to bring your head onto a brick here so you can just relax the head, so releasing down into this yin posture. Again, you can stop the video and just stay here for 5 to 10 minutes. The most important thing with this posture is that your knees are safe and there's no pain in the knee. I'm just going to twist round, just going to walk my arms round to the left and then open up, bringing the right arm up, spinning my heart, spinning your heart up to the ceiling, opening up that right hand side of the body, and then twisting to the right here, draw the belly in, bring the left arm to the outside of the right knee, really lengthen through the spine. As you breathe out, you squeeze the belly and you take your ribs round, open the collarbones, shoulder blades down the back, tuck the chin in, breathe, coming back to centre. So to come out of this, you come forward and you just release the back knee, coming into downward dog, to just release the hamstring and the IT band, exhaling, coming back onto the knees, and then taking your other leg behind you. I've just done the wrong one, so you have to remember which legs. We're taking the right leg behind this time. Stacking the knees, so make sure you stack the knees, the feet come out to the side. If you find this quite challenging, you just bring your feet closer to your hips. If it's to make it more challenging, the feet move away, out to the side. So coming down, bringing the head onto the brick here to relax the head completely. And just feel the opening through the hips. What you'll notice in this posture as well, the imbalance is in the hips. So one side will feel a lot more congested than the other. And that's normal. Our hips, we're not creatures of symmetry. We are very imbalanced due to just years and years of habits, doing things on one side more than the other. And then the muscles develop differently. So just noticing this is the most important thing, and then you can work on those sides that may need a bit more work. I'm just going to walk my hands now over to the right and then lift up the left arm, really fanning open there, opening up the intercostals on the left hand side, drawing the belly in, tailbone moves down, and then twisting to the left, taking that right arm to the outside of the left knee, twisting, drawing the belly in, breathing out as I twist, bringing the hand behind me, opening up the collarbones, shoulder blades move down the back, tucking the chin in to lengthen the back of the neck, and then keeping that breath as efficient as you can. The breath is with you all the time. Use the breath to facilitate the pose, and the pose The poses facilitate the breath, so it's a relationship between both of them. That's what makes it yoga. Taking the legs back, pushing into downward dog, sucking the belly in, exhaling, just jumping forward lightly, crossing the legs, coming onto our back now into Setu Bandha, into bridge pose. So just bringing the feet in towards the hips, heels on the outside of the hips, feet slightly turning in, and then just pushing the hips up on an inhale. Come right onto the top of the shoulders and the outside of the arms, so the palms face up, so you can interlink the fingers, and you push the hands into the mat, push the feet into the mat, draw the knees together so they're hovering over the feet. So you don't want your knees to splay out to the side, because it doesn't do the back bend any good. Really pushing the chest up, chin to chest, and as you exhale, release, round the back as you come down. You're flexing the spine and coming into Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring your soles of your feet together, knees apart, just releasing the lower back, opening the adductors. And then coming into a twist, so bring the feet to the outside of the mat, just allowing the knees to drop to the right. You can bring that right foot on top of the left thigh, just to open up the pelvis on the left hand side. So the weight of that right foot will be encouraging the opening in that left side of the pelvis. Breathe. And then releasing, taking them over to the other side. Take the left foot onto the right thigh to draw the knee down a little bit more to open up that right side of the pelvis. Again, you might notice that one side is more open than the other. Noticing your breath here. Noticing your heart rate coming down. Coming back into Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet together. Allow the knees to just drop out to the side. Taking a few deep breaths here. Tuck the chin in, shoulder blades move down the back. Palms facing up. Namaste.